Here's one towards the goal. That's going to be gloved by Travis Ridgen. Well, this is more like it.
This is Slangin The Bizkit. Here's Travis Ridgen and Dave Wheeler.
Oh, that's dangerously good.
Early and often.
Wow.
Going.
We just got the brand new, what is it, pecan?
Pecan oat latte.
This isn't even a sponsor, but damn, they should be. The amount of coffee you drink, you should get us a coffee sponsor.
I've been working on it. Nobody wants to respond to my emails. But I am a functioning addict.
Wow.
First thing Dave said, I asked him if he wanted to get a refill before we started recording the show. He said, I haven't even touched my coffee. I said, well, I'm done.
I haven't started. Like, how do you drink it that hot?
I'm addicted.
God.
That's no, this is espresso, so this counts as a coffee.
What? It's an espresso too?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a latte.
I don't understand any of the words that just came out of your mouth. Is it coffee or not?
There's 2 shots of espresso. It's a blonde espresso with syrups and flavorings. It's the pecan oat latte. It's got espresso in it.
Okay, so compare this to a can of regular soda for me as far as sugar content. I thought it was just coffee with a little bit of flavoring in it. You're telling me that the thing's loaded with sugar?
No, it's
no wonder it's so good.
That's steamed milk. You got 2 shots of espresso, the syrups and the powders, whipped cream on top.
The syrups and the powders is what causes me concern.
Yeah, it's the good stuff.
So is that where the flavor comes from?
I think so.
The pecan? Oh, that's it. Whatever.
It replaced pumpkin spice lattes for us today, so that's a big shoe to fill. But we're back.
Yeah, officially into the fall season. Here we go, baby. Hockey season's back. Let's go.
My favorite thing to hear. Early and often, Boney's off, ice is ready. Morning skate in 5. Although we're not having morning skate in the morning this year. European schedule. Morning skate is actually at night.
What?
That's how the Europeans work. At least in the minor rinks.
I don't understand.
So in North America, like when we own the rink, so like if the Motor City Rockers own, well, they didn't own the rink, but they leased the rink, they have like morning skate because we got to travel and whatnot. But in Europe, because let's say our team in Lograno HC, we have the U13, the U50, and the U18. So you have all these different clubs in the organization that have to fill the different ice slots. And some are tied into schools, some aren't. So it was the exact same thing in Sweden where usually the adult club will practice a little bit later in the day. So I think we have like a 7 p.m. practice. So 7 a.m. or I guess 10 a.m. morning skate is now at 7 p.m. So late and often, not early and often.
So are you doing dry land in the morning? Are they getting you up in the morning, or are you?
Yep.
Okay, so you're still getting up. You have a schedule. You're in the office in the morning.
Oh, absolutely.
You're just not on the ice.
No, I can't sleep until noon and do nothing all day. I have to get stuff done. Whether it's going to the gym. And
you're missing anything. So the team, though, the team doesn't mandate you to be there at a certain time in the morning. Like, what time do you have to be at the rink in order to report?
I think we're doing dry land beforehand, so we'd be doing that around like 4:35 and then skate for 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're basically a shift worker.
Well, because a couple of guys on the team will work like a full-time job in the morning. Same thing in the Fed, because the Fed usually has like 2 to 3, maybe 4 guys that work a full-time job.
Yeah.
So they'll just miss morning skate, but here we accommodate morning skate so that we can actually practice and get on the ice together.
Okay.
That's the European way.
So what about game days?
Great question. Probably 8 a.m., probably 9 a.m. I know we have ice available at that time on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, but we practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. No Thursday for whatever reason. I think we have Thursdays off and then practice Friday and then travel for games because we don't have the same like 12 and 20-hour road trips. It's just 4 or 5, maybe 6 hours of the worst, which is pretty good.
Absolutely. Big change from the Fed. I think I know the answer to this question already, but is it Olympic-sized ice, international-sized ice, or is it NHL-sized ice?
Yes, sir. Olympic size.
Okay. You looking forward to that?
Yeah. More space, more time to make moves. I like it.
Okay. I know it's a nightmare for defensemen that go over from the North American game over to Europe. They're like, where is that? Why is there so much room back there?
That sounds like an issue, not an ish-me.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So, I mean, I love the international game. You're right. It's kind of like comparing the CFL to the NFL. You got a lot more wide-out passes and whatnot. But, yeah, it can be a bit of a nightmare. And I've never really looked at it from a goalie standpoint. There's more room behind the net, too.
Yeah, there's a little more room. So it just changes like my angles on the far side. So basically when you get to, so the way I slice the ice up is zone 3, zone 2, and zone 1. So zone 3 requires 3 of me to fill the net from the goal line. Zone 2 requires 2. Zone 1 requires just 1 of me to fill the net from the goal line. And so when you get from zone 2 to zone 1, that's when we kind of start cutting back more because the ice spreads out further. But from zone 2 and zone 3, we keep things the exact same.
Do you feel that there will be a transitional period for you to kind of get your head wrapped around that?
Yeah, I haven't skated on any Olympic-sized ice this summer because the place that I usually would, at the Richmond Olympic Oval, they took the ice out for the summer. So we were skating at just a normal North American-sized rink. So I got to get up to snuff with that.
Okay, so run me through your itinerary. You're in Winnipeg right now, and you go from Winnipeg to where?
Fly Winnipeg to Toronto, Toronto to Barcelona. This is where things change up. I decided, because the jet lag is going to be getting the better of me, because 10 a.m. in Barcelona is going to be 2 a.m. in Vancouver, I don't want to take the train. We're going to catch 2 connections with all my stuff. So I'm going to get a rental car. I'm just going to drive straight to Lograno, which will be 5 hours-ish. And then I'm going to hit the hay, and then I'm going to call it a day. And this is how I'm going to beat the jet lag. So if you don't go to bed right when you get there, which would be like 10, maybe noon, and you just stay up a bit more, you totally get rid of the jet lag. Because the first year that I went to Sweden, I was jet lagged for about 10 days. And it was kind of hard to get to practice on time and feel good because I went to sleep right away, and I'm just trying to give myself sleep whenever I could, as opposed to you tough it out just a little bit longer, and then you get into the rhythm of sleeping.
I think the rule of thumb on that one is whatever the time difference is to where you're going, like say, so from Winnipeg to Spain, sounds like it'll be 6 hours. 7 hours?
Yeah.
And then 9 for Vancouver. So you're looking at 9 days. You're looking at a nine days to really get into their schedule.
I'm going to get it done, I think, in 5.
I wish you luck. I think physically you'll be able to do it, but I think mentally it'll take you a little while.
I'm kind of jealous of the Europeans, though, when they come over to play in North America, because I've always found when you go from Europe to North America, it's not even a day, and you just get used to the time zone change. But going ahead as a North American over to Europe, it's a couple days to get into the swing of things.
Well, listen, I'm going to borrow a joke here, but because you're living in the future, I need you to send me lotto numbers. Okay?
Okay.
Honestly, that joke came from, I think it was, I can't remember. But somebody was, when the Queen passed, like the Queen of England passed away, there was people saying, well, why didn't the people in Australia let us know ahead of time? They're so far ahead in time. They should have known. You know, I'm excited for you, man. I really am. How's your Spanish?
I've actually been working on it.
Have you?
So
I'm proud of you. I'm really happy to hear that.
So my representative from the team speaks Spanish and English, but he will only text me in Spanish.
Oh.
So he texts me. I have to copy and paste it into Google Translate, and then I have to take it, translate what I want to say from English back to Spanish and copy and paste it. And so with this, I'm looking at what he's saying, I'm looking at what I'm saying, and I'm learning some of the words.
Good.
So we're getting there. I know a couple bad words, like putalio.
Have you learned ja yet?
No, I know perfecto.
Okay.
Mucho gusto. Mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto.
Mucho
which
gusto.
means nice to meet you. Yeah.
Thank you. Hola. Hi.
Yeah.
Chismo.
Mochismo. Yeah.
No chismo.
No chismo.
No chismo.
No chismo.
No, Dave Wheeler, no chismo. No chismo. No chismo.
No más is no more.
No más go.
No, yeah. No más para mí.
Isn't that the slogan of Taco Bell? No más? No más?
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Yeah, I'm not going to Taco Bell.
I don't think you're going to Taco Bell. You are going to get some of the best food over there. I know we talk about that in the springtime, but now that it's here, I'm excited for you, man. That's too. Another thing that it might take you a little while to get adjusted for is your diet. Do you think?
I'm a carnivore, dude. I just eat meat. I eat like my ancestors. Like, you know, like the old like Native American paintings of them just like carving out buffalo and just eating bison. That's me. I just eat red meat.
But you're going to be doing most of your cooking at home then?
I would assume.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. I got some big news. You ready for this one? Get the drum roll. For the first time in my professional hockey career, I have my own room.
What?
I know, right?
Like, hang on, your whole apartment?
No. Like,
or just a room in the apartment?
I have nobody else outside of myself in my bedroom.
But how many people are you sharing with for the apartment?
3.
3 others or 3 total?
3 bedrooms. So 3 bedrooms for 3 guys in the apartment.
And do you know who you're splitting with?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But all I can compare to is in years previous where there'd be other guys on the team where you have 2 beds in the same room. So you get 2 guys living in the same room together. And the best part was when one of their girlfriends would come. And so they'd stay in the same bed, but then the guy was right like 6 feet away from them.
The traveling circus returns. Did I hear a rumor that there's a certain somebody that people from this show are familiar with that may or may not be your teammate this year?
Yes, he's making a comeback.
Come on.
The good-looking stallion, the blonde devil, ripped, jacked, tattoos, 42 years young. Rob Lalonde is coming out of retirement.
Wow.
Snapping around the back end.
Wow. What brought that on?
Well, he's been living in Puerto Rico the last couple of years, working on his Spanish. He misses the game. We've always been talking about, wouldn't it have been cool if, like, back in his day and my day, you can kind of, like, meet somewhere in the middle and play together? And then I remember him asking me about where I was playing. I said, I'm going to go play in Spain. He said, you think they could use a defenseman? I thought, guy with American League games? Sure. I'm sure they could use a defenseman. I asked, and they're like, yeah, bring him down. We'd love to have him. 6'4" dude snapping around, making a quick first pass, first 3 strides. Come on. Wow. European ice, more work, more room to work with.
Wow.
Physical guy. He was tough. He was tough as nails, too. That's going to be good.
So is he going to be one of your roommates?
He's not going to be my roommate. So Rob can't live with me.
Why is that?
So this is the best story that I have. So him and I, when we were road tripping a couple years ago, I remember we were going to slaughter the stay at this one guy's place that hooked it up for the night. And me and Rob go down there, and I'm like, hey, we got this all covered. He's got food ready for us. It's going to be great. And Rob looks at me. He's like, nah, bro, I'm going to La Quinta.
What?
Rob doesn't like living with other people.
Oh.
We-
Okay.
We could live together,
Yeah.
but he's going to have his own place for now. I'm going to see how the team housing goes, and then
Mhm.
we're going to go from there.
Okay.
But I'm excited. That's going to be great.
I'm excited for you. It's got to be comforting knowing that you've got somebody familiar there with you.
Yeah, and speaks English as well.
Mhm.
Most of the team speaks English. My representative told me that. He's just trying to get me into learning Spanish by texting me in Spanish.
As you should.
But yeah, it's going to be great. Like I said, most of the people speak English somewhat fluently.
Mhm.
And I'm excited. It's
Good.
going to be great. The road trips and everything.
Now, what's the schedule? So you get there, and then how quickly are you in action?
First game October 5th.
And you're playing weekly, or how many games per week?
1 to 2 games a week.
Okay.
So we should
That's
have
manageable.
Yeah, we should have about 12 games, 12-ish, 15-ish under the belt by Christmas time, by Christmas break.
Okay.
So nice and easy. And this also works great too with the hip because we're still at about 90, 95% on the new hip with the surgery. So that slower schedule, slower pace kind of works really, really nicely for getting back on the swing of things as opposed to just doing these 20-hour road trips right off the bat, playing 3-3. This is good.
Good for you, man.
This is good.
That's incredible. I'm excited. Now, do you have any personal goals as far as the stat sheet outside of wins and losses? Obviously, you want to have as many wins as possible, and you're going to get a bunch this year. I know you will. But as far as statistically, is there anything that you're zeroing in on?
Yeah, should be able to put up at least a 900, 910-ish.
Okay. That's the goal?
That's the goal.
Okay.
That's 100% the goal. I should be playing most of the games too, which is exciting too. Starting goalie for the first time in what feels like forever.
Yeah.
Playing most of the games, and I like that. I like a good workload. I'm a workhorse. Like we talked about a couple episodes ago, lots of work. We're a team that maybe wasn't as successful last year, trying to find our footing. I'm going to have lots of opportunity to prove myself. It's going to be a good year. I'm really excited. I'm excited to share it too. And also, we mentioned in previous episodes, the games are live streamed for free on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I have the website right here. It's called Fed Hilo TV. FED Hilo.
Is that a coincidence?
No. TV. They got about 7,000 subs.
So wait, it's like you went from the Federal League in America to the Federal League in Spain?
And they broadcast all the games. So the game's starting at 6:37, be about noon Winnipeg time, noon 1-ish, depending on the start time. So if you're on your lunch break, pull over and watch the game, October 5th.
And once it's streamed live, it's up there, so you can go back and watch it, the recap or whatever. Oh, it's great.
Yeah, the play-by-plays in Spanish too.
Oh, even better. Now, are you going to be doing interviews in Spanish?
No.
Of course not. Not yet. I think that should be a goal.
I'm still working on trying to get English down.
Fair. I totally understand. Well, I am excited for you. I am excited not only for the hockey, but for you to learn the language and another culture. I know how much you loved it over in Scandinavia, over in Sweden, but Spanish is a different nut.
What's the best time of year too? The hockey season starting, and there's like an essence in the air, like a new opportunity ahead. You don't know what's out there, but you know something's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time to go to battle. It's time to get out there, get on the ice, honing your craft, living that lifestyle. That's one thing that I'm really excited to do as well. And I don't mean for this to sound dramatic, but the version of me sitting here right now, I want to look back in April and say we killed that guy off completely. He's gone. He's not with us anymore. We improved every aspect. We improved the mental toughness. We were able to do accomplishment-worthy things. Best shape of your life. We was able to become the best goaltender that you were ever in your life. Produce the best results. All that stuff.
And you're upgraded on your hips, both hips ready to go. So yeah, there's nothing stopping you now.
I'm going to enjoy.
You're out of excuses.
I'm going to enjoy that 8.5 hour plane ride too. Well, having to be jammed up with 2 hip issues. I got no hip issues now, so that's going to be a good flight.
Good for you, man.
You know, they say the 3 worst things in pro hockey are a hot shower after morning skate. Well, I guess evening skate now. Nothing worse than a hot shower. The guy who uses the last Keurig pod, because there's always that one bastard. Morning skate, use the last Keurig pod. He takes a look around. It's okay. Wheels will take care of it later. Takes the last coffee. No one's looking.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst thing in pro hockey, Mondays. That's when we always make cuts.
Oh, interesting.
Sometimes Tuesdays. If we had like a long road trip and they give us Monday off, maybe Tuesday will be the worst week. I remember there was a period in Motor City where every single week, every single Monday for about 6 weeks, I had a new guy sitting beside me in the room. It was like clockwork. Every Monday, somebody new coming in and coming out until Ian White showed up, and then Whitey was there for the entire time.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. So I'm assuming there's really no training camp?
A little bit.
Is there? Oh, you're skipping training camp, is that right?
Yeah, so I'm showing up a little bit late. They know that I'm coming late just because of the hip.
Yep.
I'm trying to get things in running order. But yeah, we'll hop right into practice. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Fridays. And then playing, I'll miss the preseason games as well. But
Did you keep all of your electrical adapters from Sweden?
Oh, no, I threw those out.
Yeah, you got to get some new ones, man.
Ooh, the converters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to need those if you're going to be plugging in all your gear and doing all your editing and everything.
That's a good reminder. I got to go pick some of those up. Thanks for reminding me, too, by the way.
Don't go. Yeah, we got to finish this first. Oh, my God, that's important. Gotta go.
Thanks,
Thanks for the reminder. No, those are important, man. I know too many people that get there and they go, huh? Yeah, you've got to bring your adapters. Very important.
We talked about this before too. You know what the 3 biggest lies in pro hockey are?
Well, you just told me what the worst things about it is. So what are the biggest lies?
3 biggest lies in pro hockey. You're only going down for 2 weeks. Checks in the mail.
Yeah.
And you're the only girl that I'm talking to.
Yeah.
One is worse than the rest.
Well, listen, I know that we've told some stories about the flying circus that is the minor pro hockey. But I hope you're into a situation now where you're not going to be dealing with that, because it's one thing to deal with it in North America where you can get into a vehicle and get home. But it's a little different when I didn't have a vehicle in North America. Something would happen. I'd be like, okay, I got to go to the rental car. I got to find a horse and buggy or a train. But at least you can drive back to home base, right? Whereas, you're in the middle of the pond, you're a little more stuck.
Well, it's more stable, though, because they've invested money to bring me in, and I want to deliver value for the money that they've spent to bring me there, as opposed to North America, where they don't really have any investment up front. They can do whatever they want.
Have they given you some parameters as far as what we're doing on this show? Because I know that's kind of landed certain people in hot water in the past. So are there any parameters about stories coming from inside of the ropes?
I'm going to keep doing exactly what we've been doing since day one. I'm going to pump up the team. I'm going to be the biggest cheerleader. I love Spain. I love my team in Lograno. I'm going to make everybody look good, and we're going to do some exciting things.
Good for you.
We're not going to change anything.
Okay, let's go back to the hip real quick. You said you're at 95%.
95.
What are you unavailable for?
What do you mean? Like, what physically can I do?
Yeah.
I can do anything right now. It's just I'm having a lot of issues at this moment in time with scar tissue in my hip.
Okay.
And so, around the actual bone part where they shaved down, because essentially the surgeon went and stabbed me 3 times in there. So the body builds up a lot of scar tissue to stop you from moving that.
Yeah.
And to get that to loosen up so I can access the full range, because I have that range, like the first hip. I just have to be able to use it now. So working on it, lots of acupuncture, lots of needles, lots of cupping.
Well,
lots of cupping.
I've got a buddy in town right now. He was actually my goaltender back when I was playing in my younger days. And we're both 45 years old. We're the same
Trevor,
age.
right?
Darcy.
Rounce?
Oh. How do you know Trevor Rounce?
Because you mentioned him. I listen to you.
Wow.
It's not just you listen to me. I listen to you sometimes.
No, Trevor Rounce and I played together in Fort Saskatchewan. Darcy Purcell and I played in Fort McMurray. And he, now at 45 years old, tensor bandages on both knees. Both hips are really sore. And I mentioned you, and he kind of said, hip surgery probably would do me well, because he's coaching his kids in hockey now. And he said it's a challenge even just pushing pucks around.
I just thought the other day, just out of the blue, I know this wasn't in the schedule notes, but all the issues that Carey Price had, he was so good up until he had that one knee injury in the conference final and Kreider ran into him with the Rangers-Habs conference final. Do you think they win the cup if he doesn't get injured? And do you think he's still playing, doing great things without that injury?
I don't think he's the linchpin of a Stanley Cup or not. I think their success and their seeding when it goes to the Stanley Cup playoffs heavily fringes on him, but I don't think he's the be-all, end-all.
Such a shame. He was literally the GOAT of goaltenders. I was never his biggest fan. I'm never the biggest fan of the guys that everybody else loves. I like the underdog. Right? So like Hellebuck. He's so great, but not a lot of guys like him. So he's my guy. I love that underdog story because everybody overwhelmingly loved Carey Price. I was never his biggest fan. But looking back, now that he's gone, he was the GOAT. He put this element of calmness and coolness and precision and just not using more energy than he needed. Not even an extra calorie wasted in his movement that nobody else did. I remember...
I think he definitely stole games for the Habs.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that.
When he put the team on his back in 2021.
Yeah. I don't like making reference to the whole COVID bubble thing. I mean, that was just an anomaly that I think all of us need to forget about. The fact that, Tampa won 2 inside of there. Did they not?
Back to back.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think there's a big asterisk next to that one. It was different. Divisions were different. No crowds, no real home ice advantage. All inside of a bubble. I don't know. It just, to me, it's a fever dream I'd like to try and forget.
But he still put the team on his back, though.
Sure. Listen, when it comes to the actual play, yes, absolutely. They were the team. He got them to the Stanley Cup Finals, yes, but he didn't win it for them.
That's true. But he's won everywhere else, but he has no mug.
Right. And, well, listen, if he would have taken care of his health a little quicker, I think possibly he would have had a little longer tenure in the game. But, I mean, Sidney Crosby's a great example. There's a guy who went through trials and tribulations in his late 20s, early 30s with a concussion and the back and all that kind of stuff. Missed, let's say, just for argument's sake, let's just say he missed 2 seasons total. 37 years old now, and just signed a new 2-year contract for $8.7, which once upon a time was the biggest contract in hockey, and now it's peanuts in comparison. But there's a guy who's still 10th overall in all-time league scoring, and take away 2 seasons from him. It's mind-blowing.
Well, he took his time coming back from those concussions, and I remember people were giving him a hard time. What is he doing? Come on, buddy. But then Carey Price, I remember he rushed back from that knee injury, and he's never the same since.
Exactly. Like I said, if he would have taken better care of his health, he would have had more longevity like we're seeing out of Crosby. And that brings me into a great conversation. I know it's not hockey related, but Tua Tagovailoa, if the NFL allows him to get back on the field, like if they say, yep, you're cleared by our doctors that we have in our back pocket that we keep on the payroll, you're good. Get out there. Have some fun. They're basically signing his death warrant. He will die on the field. He will. They rushed him back 3 times 2 years ago. And if they bring him back at any point this season, he will die on the field.
You think so?
Yes.
I didn't look very good with that hit the other day.
Oh, when the fingers start curling like this in front of your face, and you're like, that basically means you're going to go. Like he will die on the field. It's sad to say, and it'll be soundtracked by the silence of the fans watching. We saw what happened with the guy from the Buffalo Bills in the Bengals game when he went down, and that was just a random fluke. This one we know. I have a crystal ball right here. Tua Tagovailoa, if he plays again, he will get another concussion and his brain will be mush.
We got to throw that out in the clips.
Oh, that'll go viral.
Your clips have been doing well. Your clips have been doing real well. We get a new clips channel too, the YouTube clips channel, like long format clips as well.
Tell them all about it.
Well, we got the YouTube long format clips. So if you don't want to listen to the whole 45-minute episode, you can get the little hits over there on YouTube in full format length. We got the short form clips, which we just hit 10,000 followers on Instagram. So thank you for everybody. Follow it over there.
Wow.
TikTok's at 3,000. We're doing well. Things are doing well.
Who do we got for a sponsor this week?
For a sponsor, Sheath Underwear. Presenting sponsor since day one. This is the interesting thing. It's one of those things you don't know that you need until you have it. But when you put on a pair of Sheath Underwear, the comfort, the coolness, the fact you can compartmentalize everything, you're not getting sticky, you're not getting sweaty. And I know a lot of people are thinking, I don't know if this is going to work for me. Like you guys talk about this all the time. I'm not quite sold. What if we did this? The code BIZKIT, BIZKIT, will get you 20% off. The best underwear money has ever bought.
Truth.
And they're seriously going to change your game, especially when you're going from the summer into the winter, getting sweaty. Maybe you're working on the job site. You get days where it's like plus 25 in the day. It's minus 5 at night. I think it's a no-brainer. Go to sheathunderwear.com, link in the video description, link in the Apple Spotify podcast notes at sheathunderwear.com. Use the code BIZKIT. Boom. Get yourself a wicked pair of underwear.
Can I tell you a personal anecdote? There's a lot of people in my house, and sometimes we get behind on laundry, and if I have to go into the old underwear, like before the Sheath days, it ruins my day.
Because you're peanut butter bum?
No, just because it's like, nothing's compartmentalized, everything's just kind of there. Like, I like every little more order in that. Yeah, it just ruins my day. I'm like, I can't wait for the laundry to get done.
You could, honestly, you could probably flip them inside out and use them again. Worst case. Like, if you had to do that, you probably want to do
you can't, because then you lose all the compartments.
Well, if you had to get extra usage out of them, you want to use Fruit of the Loom or Sheath. I'm going to pick the Sheath and use those inside out any day of the week, if I had to pick one.
All right, moving on.
All right. Well.
It reminds me of Big Hero 6. I can get 4 wears. Forwards, backwards, inside out, forwards, and backwards again.
Speaking of people that are unpopular, like myself, world's most hated man, a guy that's about as popular as a root canal right now is Justin Trudeau.
Oh boy, are we going this already?
It made me think, when Harper was in government, he would literally go to Ottawa Senators games all the time, and he'd just sit in the crowd. People would shake his hand, get pictures. Do you ever remember the Golden Boy? Like, not in Winnipeg, the Golden Boy, but the Golden Boy Senators fan.
Okay.
He'd have like all gold. I remember he'd be coming up to take pictures with Harper, and they'd be doing whole photo ops and all that stuff. And he would just sit there and chill. Even the Cup final, Ducks and Senators 07, he just sat there chilling in the crowd. Nothing happened. But Trudeau, this guy can't go anywhere without people throwing ham sandwiches and rocks at him.
Okay, let me tell you, I know firsthand because I've seen the Prime Minister's security detail, and it's very detailed. Even to the point where Harper, when he was Prime Minister, he came to a Jets game. And because I was still working with the team at the time, they had people up in the catwalks with scopes. They had people...
Like guns?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, just basically had that scope in that area the whole time, watching people with binoculars. They had people that were in plain clothes around the Prime Minister in that seating section. So it made it look like, let's look at him. He's just a regular old Canadian Joe. Like, here's my ticket. Get some popcorn. No. He's very, very heavily guarded. You just have no idea how heavily guarded he is. Canada's a little more modest in their security detail when it comes to our political leaders, where the U.S. is like, hey, don't forget, we got a Gatling gun that pops out of that SUV. So they're a little more bold and brazen with showing off how much security detail they have.
You guys serving him as popcorn as a Secret Service as well.
Exactly. Oh, I guarantee you, there's no way it's like, random popcorn. Yeah, no, that thing's been checked. That thing, like, that person who made that popcorn got watched by one of their security detail. They are very, very, very good at their jobs.
Was that for the Jets home opener, the first one that he was here for? When was that?
Okay, well, remember... We're going back a little bit here, and you may have to run some video just to remind people, but there was a game down in Chicago. Jets were in Chicago, and Adam Party ran into the end boards. The stanchion comes off, the glass comes off, and then one of the fans grabs his helmet, throws it on. Okay? So the next game that Chicago is in Winnipeg, the Prime Minister was at that game.
Was he wearing the helmet?
No. I tried to encourage people to wear helmets, but apparently, according to official documents, that was not conducive for the Prime Minister being there. And it was shut down.
Because they could throw helmets at the Prime Minister.
I don't know. There was just whatever it was. You're not allowed to wear a helmet to the hockey game. They made that very clear.
Who is that? There's a guy at the Kansas City Chiefs. He's a big Chiefs fan. He dresses up as Andy Reid. Have you seen that guy?
Yes, he's fantastic. Like a spitting image of him.
Yeah, mustache, big fat dude, headset, the hat. He's got
the burgers.
He's got the paper with the playbook, and he covers his mouth when he talks.
Yep.
Reminds me of in Calgary when they had the Kippersoft kid.
Yep.
Now they have a Hellebuck kid who does the same thing.
Mm-hmm. There's a guy on YouTube, Big Dawes TV. Are you familiar with him?
No.
He looked like, and I can't remember now, but he looked like one of the guys on the Golden State Warriors. And they actually did a whole YouTube video to see if he looked close enough to him that he could get into the players' entrance and whatnot. And he got all the way to the court.
Really?
And then got you're basically banned from the arena forever.
There's a YouTube video on that.
Yeah.
What player did he go in as?
Klay Thompson.
Oh, with the afro.
Klay Thompson. Yeah. He looks, and he's tall, like he's 6'5", 6'6", somewhere around your height. So he looks like Klay Thompson, had a build like Klay Thompson, and walked right through security. Hello, Mr. Thompson. Go on right on through. Oh, yeah. He got all the way down to court level and was throwing a few layups before somebody finally said, that's not Klay Thompson, and hauled him off.
Was he wearing the Thompson jersey?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
wow.
He went all out.
So the guys did. I wonder if the guy said something.
Oh, probably.
Just let him.
Yeah, okay, go for it.
Do you remember? Sorry, so many flashback moments, but this must have been like 05, 06 Canadians practice when this one random fan comes running onto the ice and takes breakaways on Jose Theodore.
Yep, I remember that. He looked like he came right from the ranks of Beer League too. But I understand his mentality. He's like, there's no way they're going to answer my emails. There's no way. They just need to see what I'm capable of. And so he got his gear on and he went out there and fired a few pucks out, but he stuck out like a sore thumb.
Well, I remember one of the media asking Theodore, why did you stop his pucks? Like, why don't you just leave? Because you never know what he's going to do. Maybe he's going to come attack you. And he said, this guy darted through security, came on the ice to take some breakaways. The least I can do is give him 3 breakaways.
Right.
Went for 3, obviously. Mm-hmm. One of the greatest goaltenders of all time. Did I ever tell you why he was my idol growing up?
No.
Like, Jose Theodore was my absolute inspiration. Full right goaltender, just like me. Just coming off the Vezina and the Hart Trophy. Best goaltender in the world. Mm-hmm. Great style, great mask, the gargoyles. Also dating one of the hottest chicks at the time, Paris Hilton. He had it all, driving the nice car.
He did date Paris Hilton, didn't he?
Dude, he was crushing Paris Hilton for about a year.
God, I forgot about that.
This is when she was eating 1 almond a day. Remember that?
This is back in the that's hot days. Yeah, gotcha. Okay. All right. Wow, you jogged my memory on that one.
Dude,
yeah.
He was the man. I've tried reaching out to a couple of people on LinkedIn who might know him. I'd love to get him on the podcast. If I could have one person in that seat, hockey related, that's who I want. Not like to replace you, but for us to interview.
Sure.
Jose Theodore.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any interviews. I know he did a Chicklets interview a couple of years ago, but to actually ask him questions as like, he was my idol. He was the guy that I looked up to. Like I had the Avalanche jersey. I had the Capitals jersey. I had the Canadians jersey. He was my guy. I don't know if that's too weird, but I'd love to ask a bunch of questions as a professional.
Yes, of course. Yes, only as a professional. Yeah. Well, listen. There's the one guys that either stay involved in hockey or once they retire, they're like, nah, I'm done. I want to move on and I want to, just kind of leave that in the past. And this, like you said earlier, this is the new me. This is the me past retirement, and it's not a hockey guy. Where some guys stay involved as long as humanly possible and end up working in the front office or whatever they can through broadcasting. So yeah, there's 2 schools of thought on that one.
Somebody who's lasted a long time is Jon Daley.
Yeah,
that guy I swear has been golfing for longer than I've been alive. Well, professionally.
Well, he still plays on the seniors tour. He still has he can get into the PGA championships every year for winning that. That's one thing I love about golf. I mean, once you're a Masters champion, you're invited back every single year until you're dead. You can play every single year.
Has he won a Masters?
Jon Daley?
Yeah.
I want to say yes, but I don't think so. I think that's the only one that he missed. He got the U.S. Open, got the PGA Championship, he got a British. I don't think he has a Masters. No, I'm going to say no.
Some reporter asked him a while ago, they're like, John, what's your secret to success? Because he's been doing it for so long, despite not being your typical looking golfer. And I remember his answer shot out of a cannon, no delay, no hesitation. He said, 5 minutes in the range, 3 minutes in the greens, 6 cigarettes, and a double shot of rum and Coke. That's how you do it.
Have you ever heard of an Arnold Palmer? It's half lemonade, half iced tea.
Yeah.
You turn that into a Jon Daley.
How?
You add vodka.
How much?
Half and half.
Oh.
third. Yeah, that's a Jon Daley. He's I don't know if you watched it, but he did a break 50 with Bryson DeChambeau on YouTube, and that was one of the most entertaining 45 minutes I've ever watched in golf.
The Trump one I really enjoyed. That was a good video.
Man, I'll tell you what I love most about that video is that there was no mention of politics. It was just two guys nerding out about golf, and I thought it was fantastic. And I brought it up to people who I know are on either side of the fence. And they go, I ain't watching that. I'm like, it's just, if you love golf, watch it. Because Trump made a natural birdie on his own, which he's got one of the worst putting strokes I've ever seen in my life. But guy can still hit the ball. I give him credit. I mean, when you own that many golf courses and you golf that much, I certainly hope you're that good at that age.
His golf fit, though, looks like he literally just walked in and cleaned out TJ Maxx.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you'd think for a president, he would, or a former president, he'd have a little better game, but whatever.
Yeah, like a nice watch, properly fitted shirt, maybe like less boxy pants, some crisp shoes.
Yeah, well, listen, that Break 50 series that Bryson's doing, he did one with Tony Romo. That one was a lot of fun to watch. Jon Daley, that was a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, it's a good series.
He was crushing, was it Ashley Simpson for a bit? Or Jessica Simpson? Tony Romo.
Oh, yeah, one of the Simpsons, yeah.
Yeah, he was dicing one of them up. I think that was like the mid-2000s ish.
Yeah, so, I remember they were everyone had the faces on when he was on the road in the playoffs one year. They put the big mask that they put on, the big
What do you mean?
To distract them.
What mask?
In the audience, like of Simpson, his girlfriend, whoever that was. Everyone was wearing the mask of his girlfriend.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, it was funny. Oh man, you're bringing up a whole bunch of memories. This is great.
That's good. That's good, like 2000 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? On the cigarette topic, you just made me have a flashback. We talked about him before, Dog the Bounty Hunter. You know what my favorite thing about Dog the Bounty Hunter is? When, you know, like when he'd arrest guys, he'd tase them, he'd punch them in the face, you get him in the back of the car and ask him, "You need a smoke, bro? You need a smoke? I'll light you up one."
Yeah.
And then as he carries the guy in his underwear.
Have a cigarette. There you go. Well, you got you left in your life right now.
You can do something to go with your life, man. As you just had like 3 crack pipes that he threw at Dog and he had to tase him.
It's still the human part of Dog the Bounty Hunter.
I don't think he's around anymore.
Dog?
Yeah. Well, he's alive, but he's not around in like an action anymore.
No, goodness no. No, I mean, well, he was old when he had that TV show. I think he was in his late 40s, early 50s. So
yeah, he's softened a little physically since then. But
the life of a bounty hunter.
Yeah, I got some NHL news though. This is exciting. I know Dave was really excited to talk about this off the top of the show, but Bobby Lou, men's league.
Man, could you imagine? You're sitting there, you're gearing up, you just got off work, you had dinner with the family. You're like, all right, I'm gonna go to the rink and get my exercise in, and have a couple beer with the boys, and then it was like, our goaltender's not coming. Oh, did you find us a spare? Yeah, Roberto Luongo.
No, seriously, who? Roberto Luongo.
Unbelievable. And it's right up Lou's alley to do something like this, too. I thought it was a class act. It was great.
Well, apparently he saw a Facebook ad that they were looking for a goalie last minute. He said, yeah, I'll come on.
Mm-hmm.
And he turns up and defeats the 5-time defending champions in the championship game 4-2.
That's awesome.
What a legend.
That's awesome.
Also, can you imagine in the room? Because I'm sure some of the guys didn't know. Who do we got for goalie? We got a real ringer tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He's got real experience. Well, who? You'll see. And then Bobby Lou turns up.
I think it's fantastic. It's amazing because in some beer leagues, all depending on what the competitive level is of said league, you have to play a certain amount of games in the regular season in order to be able to suit up for the playoffs. But I'm assuming that just getting Roberto Luongo on the ice would be like, yes. The answer is yes.
I'm sure somebody complained, but then they put Bobby Lou in the jersey of the regular guy, so it looked like the regular guy.
Right.
Something along those lines.
I think that's fantastic.
That's got to be one of the stories of the year. Mm-hmm. The fact that he turned up and they won. I haven't seen any video of him, but I would love to see some video of that game.
Yeah, I saw the video of him showing up in the locker room and saying, you guys better play defense. I thought that was great. But yeah, I haven't seen actual on-ice action of him.
He kept him to 2 goals, too.
Good for him.
That's a good defensive shutdown.
Could you imagine the guy on that team going home to the wife going, yeah, put one past Bobby Lou today. No big deal.
Or 2 guys. Or 1 guy with 2 goals.
Yeah, right? That would be pretty impressive. And oh, sure, honey, of course. Live your little fantasy. No, seriously, I scored out Roberto Luongo. Mind you, most people down in South Florida probably went, who?
That's a good one. Thatcher Demko, knee injury.
Poor guy, man. Honestly, I think everybody in Vancouver is pretty bummed about that one.
So I got a theory on that. So he's had both hips done. He had the double hip surgery when he was at Boston College. And then since he's been with the Canucks, he's had all these knee injuries. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, he's a huge guy. He's like 6'6". Obviously, a lot more stress and a lot more torque going through the joints and through the center of the bones and the joints than a normal guy. But why is it he's getting so many knee injuries? And I was looking at some footage with my goalie coach, and I noticed so when he's moving, and I'll just use this as the video example. So when he's moving, he's almost like a sprinkler. He's like shuffling so fast. so many short, choppy movements. And when you're a big guy, it's going through the center of your knee. That's a knee push and an ankle push, not a hip push. And then he has to immediately turn it around and turn all the momentum back the other way. And I thought, well, when you watch highlights from him, yeah, it's no wonder he's having all these knee injuries and all these ankle issues as well. And then just some of the video that Ian Clark works with him when they spend half the practice doing post integrations. And if you watch him in warm-ups for NHL games, half of warm-up, he's doing reverse integrations, hinging, post work. So it's no wonder the dude's got so many issues. And it's a shame because he's so good. He's one of the best goalies in the league. Top 3, top 5. So talented. Just you got to keep the guy healthy.
Well, again, going back to the summer series of interviews that we did, and the one with Corey Schneider, if you haven't seen that one yet, go check it out. But he talks at great length about the pressure that you put your body through, especially your hips, your knees, your ankles. Like you're asking your body to move in ways that it's not designed to do, and you say do it anyways. It's the old bend don't break mentality, knowing that you're going to have issues later, but please hold up now. And you put it through that much stress, something's going to pop, and especially because the hip is moving so well that maybe the knee isn't up to snuff and maybe not up to that caliber that the knee went, I can't keep up. Here I go.
Well, depending on the intensity of the push and the intensity of the movement, we classify that, at least with my goalie coach and I, is it's an ankle push, it's a knee push, or it's a hip push. If it's real power and explosive like a Johnny Quick, that's a hip push. It's everything going through. If it's just a light, soft, choppy type of push, that's a knee, that's an ankle. And he does so many of those. And you think, the dude's 6'6", 6'7". We're talking it's a big ass to get moving in gear, right? That's a lot of strain, a lot of torque. So they fire.
Does that scare you at all?
Oh, I don't play that way.
Right.
So I'm not as worried. But yeah, it's definitely thought. To go back to the Carey Price thing we talked about earlier, you wonder, because he did a podcast with Brent Myers. They were talking a lot about addiction maybe like a month ago, 2 months ago. Did you see that interview?
No.
It was really good interview. I'd never seen Carey Price do a podcast before, but I heard him talk a while ago as well about it. He just wants to make pancakes with his daughter on a Saturday morning and take his kids up and down the stairs. And we had a take a couple of months ago on the show about how is it really worth it? He's got the gold medal, the World Championship, the World Cup, this, that, and the other, Vezina, Hart. But would he trade that all just to be able to be the father that he wants? I think he would. People call me nuts. Well, how could you ever consider trading that? You want to be the best NHL goalie you possibly can. This is the GOAT you're talking about. I think he would argue differently.
I think the answer is, at the time, is it worth it? Yes. But hindsight's 20/20, right?
Well, so what do you do then? What's the actual answer? What's the solution?
Well, when you're in that situation, you think to yourself, I'm invincible. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to retire, and I'm going to have a bright, healthy future, and I'm going to be able to make pancakes for my kids. And then you show up to that day, and you go, why can't I make pancakes for my kids? Oh, right. It's because I put my body through hell for 15 years, and that's why I am where I are now. You can't predict that 15 years prior. So is it worth it at the time? Absolutely. Is it worth it after? You kind of go, oh, man, I wish I would have done a few things differently.
Yeah. Especially like we talked about, come back from that knee injury too soon. Well, I wonder if Demko is the same thing, because they talked about the dude may miss the beginning of the season. I heard he might have missed the first half of the season, and then the doctors decided that, hey, this is someone you're just going to be able to, you have to live with. We can't fix it. Boom, now he's on the ice. He's ready to go for training camp. So I wonder if that's going to be another, hey, we rushed him back too soon. He's going to have a lot of issues. I guess time will tell, but.
Well, again, and going back to the Tua Tagovailoa thing, spoiler alert, the league doesn't care. They don't care. You're down? Who's next? All right, get him in there.
Well, what's the same we said? You're only useful as long as you're useful, and you're just meat and a hook.
Bingo.
Once you're no longer useful, we don't even know who you are anymore.
No, you're right.
Favorite national park in Canada? In spite of the Jasper wildfires, you got a favorite one? Best national park in Canada.
I'm going to stay close to home. Riding Mountain National Park. They have Clear Lake, which is a Stanley Thompson design, I believe, and I know Donald Ross helped out with that one. From what I understand, they would take a lot of the leftover plugs from the greens that they were putting into Elmhurst and Pine Ridge and moving them out to Clear Lake. But one of the most picturesque golf courses in all of the prairies.
Riding Mountain National Park golf course?
No, Clear Lake at Riding Mountain National Park.
We got to put that on the list for next summer.
Oh, it is. Believe me when I tell you, it is one of those bucket list courses. There is not a blade of grass that's out of place.
Really? Yeah. Okay. I thought you were going to go with Sunnyvale.
Shout out Bubbles. Shout out Julian.
The trailer park.
God love the boys.
Oh, but thoughts and prayers with Jasper, though. That was tough to see some of the video and some of the spots burning down, the wildfires.
Well, that was more, it kind of hit close to home for you, because you were doing your amazing mini doc series over the summer about the railway hotels of Canada, and that one was on the list.
My last one got canceled because the fires happened the week of my stay, and I wasn't able to go, but This is what I was told by somebody very close to one of the hotels, let's just say, was apparently, and this is just all speculation, they knew the fire was coming. I believe the municipality of Jasper and the firefighters said, hey, to Parks Canada, because you can't even touch a blade of grass without getting put in jail. We want to dig a moat around the town to save everything. We don't want anything to burn. They said, nope, you're not digging a moat, just leave it. But we're going to burn the town down. Why don't we? And they wouldn't let them do it. And then they had requested help apparently from Hinton, Edson, and Edmonton firefighters to come help. They rejected all of it. They said, no, we're just going to stick with the 40 firefighters we have now. Again, such a shame. And then 33 or 40% of the entire town burned down. And I mean, such a shame because that town obviously thrives on tourism. And you're not going to have any tourism in full swing probably till, next summer? Maybe?
Kind of reminds me of a similar story that happened with the floods here in the prairies in 97, where back in the 80s, Duff Roblin, who was the premier of Manitoba, back in the 70s, decided to do a floodway, saying, hey, we need like a spillway. If the water comes up too much, we can just kind of divert it all here. And he spent an obscene amount of tax dollars. And he went, oh my God, you're crazy, you're nuts, blah, 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 blah. And then sure enough, in 97, literally saved the city of Winnipeg, saved the city. And they ended up giving him a key to the city, and he was honored, and things named after him. They called it Duff's Ditch, the floodway. After the floods of 97, the city that did, unfortunately, take huge damage was Grand Forks, North Dakota, about 2 hours south of Winnipeg in North Dakota. And I remember Winnipeg kind of going to them saying, hey, we built a floodway about 20 some odd years ago. Here's the plans. Here's how we did it. You should do this too. And they went, nah, we're good. And they got flooded again probably about 15 years later. I don't remember the exact times on that. But I think something like that, the foresight to have that, sure, it's expensive. Sure, it doesn't look good on paper when you're trying to, go through all the red tape and elections and whatnot. But boy, oh boy, had they been able to pull that off, that would have been really helpful. They had fire breaks. So they do that a lot in northern Alberta too, where they literally cut huge rows out of the forest to make sure that there's enough room. Like, hey, if a fire does happen, it'll stop here. But when the fires that happened 9 years ago, in Fort McMurray again, where it took the town down, even the fire breaks weren't enough. Like the wind was that strong that it pulled it over to the other side of that fire break and got into the city. So sometimes as much you can plan ahead as much as you want, but it doesn't always work out.
It's a shame though, because they had the pine beetle infestation where half the forest ended up getting knocked down. Then you just have this giant lighter fluid essentially sitting there on the forest floor just waiting. Yeah. And then you see the clips in Parliament the last couple of years. Hey, we need to put money towards this. No, it's fine. And this exact same thing happened in
California.
Waterton Lakes.
Yeah.
Waterton Lakes in 2017. Right literally meters away from the Prince of Wales Hotel. Everything else burnt down. Wow. So what a shame. But
Mother Nature wins every time, ladies and gentlemen. Never forget that.
We talked about it before, but it's crazy how we think we're so cool and we're so powerful and we're so smart, but Mother Nature always humbles us.
Exactly. And I always think it's very, very egotistical of us as humans to think that we have this innate ability to dictate the weather, and if we do this and we do no. The world will decide how it's going to react. We don't have as much of an influence on that as we think we do.
Yeah, agreed. But hey, we'll be going to Jasper next summer. I know we talked about that already.
Yeah,
we're going to take the train. We're going to do a little boys trip to Edmonton, a little Jasper.
Golf. I'm looking forward to golfing out there.
I'm excited to go swim in Burke Lake with you and do a little hike in the Rockies.
That'll be an upgrade from when we went into the North Saskatchewan River.
Ooh, South
Saskatchewan. Pardon me. Yes.
Ooh, it was
good old Poop Island.
To quote Bubbles, it was greasy, boys. It was real greasy.
That was a great trip, though. By the way,
yeah, it was fantastic. It was a great retreat. Good time to go golfing, spend some boys' time after we've been working so hard in the show the last 2 years. But anyway, that golf stuff will be up by now by the time this show goes up. But anyway, this is Slangin The Bizkit. We're back into the swing of things. I'm excited. October 1st, first game in Spain. Lograno HC. Again, if you want to check out the games, I'll put a link in the video description for the live stream links.
What number are you wearing?
I will wear whatever they give me when I turn up.
What number are you hoping for?
33.
Okay.
I'm hoping for. Well, actually, no. 33 hasn't worked out the last couple of years, so maybe something different. But
switch it up. Go backwards. 33. Oh, wait, that's still 33.
Maybe 37. Hellebuck.
Okay.
I like 37. That's a good looking number. 36, not so much. 35 is overused. 31, Carey Price. Nah, overused as well.
53?
No. That's European. That's real European right there.
Guess where you're playing?
Europe. Well, anybody, thank you so much for watching the show. We do new episodes every single Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 here in beautiful Winnipeg, 9 a.m. in Calgary, 8 a.m. on the Pacific West Coast. Shows up on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. We will see you soon. Bye.